Hey Eva, how you doing today?
I'm very happy to be, part of this conversation. Very excited today. So thank you for an opportunity.
You're very welcome, and it's great to see you. How's your day been so far?
Yes, it's been great. I mean, to be honest, this is the highlight of my day. So no hiding. Yes, I'm very excited.
Excellent. Well, let the viewers know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, Eva.
Mhm. So I'm Ieva. I am a relationship coach. I am also, I think the big part of me is also a tango dancer. I started dancing Argentinian tango 10 years ago, and I didn't know it was going to affect me in this way, but it now forms a very big part of who I am. And when I coach people or when I approach my work, I bring the principles from the Argentinian tango into my coaching, into my ability to heal and support women. And yeah, so it's a very big part of who I am. And another thing that I want to add is that I say women. I think at this at this stage of my life, I really feel drawn to connecting with women and feeling really drawn to support the women. And because I am a woman, and there were moments where I needed support. And so I created a women's dance circle, and through the circle I get to hear stories of of women, of their lives, of the challenges and how they face their challenges and how they come to the other side, and yet they don't see how beautiful they are. They don't see how powerful and strong they are. They don't value themselves as much as they should. So I just feel so much like my heart just goes to them, and I just want to support them, all the time. Yeah, so that's, I guess, who I am right now, and my kind of purpose
Excellent,
in life
excellent,
right
excellent. Yeah, that's a
now.
fascinating journey that you've been on. Like, so when you look at your journey and how you got into tango dancing and how that led into relationship coaching, can you walk us through like what got you into tango dancing and the moment that you connected that with relationship coaching and what that process was like for you?
Hmm. So, what got me into dancing is that, that year I approached my 30th birthday, and I wanted to give a gift for myself, you know. And I said to myself, it has to be something special. It has to be something for me, something that I really wanted. And, one thing that straight away came to my mind was dancing and tango, because maybe before that moment, I watched the movie, and, there was one scene, and it was Argentinian tango, and it just captured me, and it stayed forever, since that moment in my head. And so now that I have this opportunity to give a gift to myself, I decided this is gonna be Argentinian tango, of course. And there is I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to thinking about Argentinian tango and what it is among people. I think people very often start thinking about Strictly Come Dancing, which, of course, I mean, that's when you get introduced to what it is and have a taste of it.
Right.
But it's not really that because that's a performance. And the real essence of Argentinian tango is the connection, is the energy between masculine and feminine, its presence. It's so many, like it's just the whole universe of it. And I like to describe it as it's a meditation, because when you're immersed yourself in the music and the dance, in the embrace of the partner, you first of all forget everything, and you just easily can be taken in another realm. You're just somewhere else. So for me, that is a meditation. And I think, all these performance things that we see on the television, it's not the essence of tango, it's not the real tango. So I just wanted to kind of clarify this. And so in that sense, tango has been so healing for me. So like I can feel creative, I can feel really feminine when I'm dancing. And again, this is where I guess when you say how I connected with the relationship, um, is I just received so much from tango as a woman that I wanted to give that to other people. I wanted to give that to other people. And at the time I was on my own in a different country, young girl. I mean, not young, 30 years old, but still. Um, so to that point, I was always living my life as if I was um, a survivor, a fighter, a doer. It was very masculine. And I think that many women these days are in this mode of being. I have to care about others. I have to care about myself. I constantly need to take leadership in things. I need to be doing things. I just need to be always on alert. And this was my life. So when I got introduced to tango, into the embrace of tango, it's just um, if I would try to describe what is an embrace, it is a hug, but we don't call it hug, we call it embrace for the reason. An embrace is a space where um, you can feel, you can come to it. You're not forced to be there, but you can come to it. You can come as close as you want to another person. We have open embrace and we have close embrace, and you can choose. But in an essence, it is a space where one feels safe, where one feels trusted, or I can trust this, I can be in this, I can feel safe, and I can just let go. I can just be myself. I can just be a woman. So for me, that that was the moment, and I get a little bit emotional when I talk about it because it just means so much to me. Um, so so and I say that is healing. It's healing because of that embrace, because of the ability to again be a woman, be who you are, be a woman, be connected to your body, be connected to the music, be with another person and feel totally safe, and again, like, I'm not trying to, there are things in tango that are not all that glamorous and good, there are not all embrace feels like that, um, not all people have sometimes the right mindset. But when it happens, it's just so beautiful. It can be so healing for, someone like me. And I believe so many other women, not just me, all the women who dance tango. And this is why people, leave countries. They go to Argentina, they leave their jobs because it becomes such a big part of their life, their identity, and the healing journey. And to be able to live this life creatively and with authenticity, it's wonderful and can be quite addictive. So this is I guess where it all started. And I went on learning, about relationships from the coaching perspective. I mean, when I was at university, I did study psychology, so I always was in that space of, understanding people, empathizing with people, always kind of curious about people, about how the mind work, how the psychology work. But when I started the coaching training, specifically in the relationship, I just really it was just so fascinating for me. And it was just one of those things that it was so easy for me to, I never learned in the 4 years of university degree so much about psychology as I was learning through the program that I was studying. So it was beautiful, and I am very creative coach. Again, I said in the beginning that I try to include my principles of tango into my coaching, which it's all about embracing the women. If obviously I work, I like to coach women, embracing, allowing them to feel safe, allowing them to feel that they can speak, that they can have the emotion because they feel like they are held. And that's, for me, that's really important. Um, Another aspect is ability to connect with yourself. And again, for me, ability to connect with yourself through your body. I mean, as a dancer, you have to do that, and there is nothing closer to your body than you are. There is nothing. Your thoughts is not who you are, but your body is everything who you are because it holds all your memories, all your history, all that you are. It is held in your body. So when we learn to connect with ourselves, we can learn how to connect with. Sorry, when we learn how to connect with our body, we can learn to connect with ourselves. Um, yeah, so that's just a few of those principles that I hold very dear to my heart, and I always try to, to bring in. And obviously being creative, coaching is a creative process. So allowing bringing the energy in, both energy from the person and your own energy. And in tango we have this wonderful thing where often thinking about who is leading the dance, and many times people think that a man is leading a dance or the leader is leading a dance, whereas actually the music is leading the dance because they both dance in the conversation around the music, interpreting the music. So again, this idea of, allowing the energy to interact with each other and allowing it to shine in the conversation and be creative is again is a part of what I believe is special about coaching.
Yeah.
Um, yes. So I think that
Yeah,
I
excellent,
it was
excellent.
a long, it was a long, but
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when it comes to relationships or successful relationships, there definitely needs to be a balance when we're looking at masculine and feminine energy. So it's actually wonderful how tango helped you to embrace your femininity and helped you to go through the healing that you needed to get to where you are now. So when we talk about like healing, oftentimes it's previous relationships that we have to heal from. So like when we look at our previous relationships, we've all been through different struggles in these relationships, and we navigate through those to get to where we are now. So what would you say some of your struggles have been in previous relationships, and how did you navigate through those to get to where you are now?
So I think, and this is another reason why I feel so connected to women specifically. I think as women, I often, talking to other women as well, I find this that as women, we're just so good at giving, at loving, at caring, giving our energy generously to other people. And because I guess it's like a biological thing, it's just in our psyche to do that as women. And oftentimes we do that with best of intentions. But what happens is that the people around us can take this for granted, you know, can can take it for granted and not really see how much love, how much love we give, how much love we have. Um, and so this was also my journey, my story as well. And I think again, as women, I think we need to become stronger at protecting our own energy, at protecting that ability to give love generously and that ability to put other people before ourselves. Um, and another thing is it can be quite dangerous for also for women who are like that. And I'm not saying that all women are like that. Maybe, some women obviously are very strong and very good at protecting their energy, and that's wonderful. Um, but what can happen is that if you being like that and you end up in a relationship with somebody who's quite toxic, manipulative, narcissistic, and um, gaslighting. You as a woman, you can start to question yourself, and that often happens. That happens. That you start to question yourself. Am I really, am I really doing this? Am I really good? Is my love good enough? Right? If you know, very often as women we experience that our love is wrong or the way we love is wrong. So yeah, and I have experienced that too. And this has taught me now to be caring for yourself, to be caring about how you give to other people, and also coming back to your own values, um, and coming back to, you know, again, appreciating yourself, appreciating who you are and how you can give to others, um, and what you deserve and or how you deserve to be treated. Um, so yeah, so
Right, right.
that's definitely been true for me, and I know that for so many women,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
has been true too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, when you speak about like you being in a toxic situation, a lot of women, like you mentioned, they go through the same thing, and they get very attached in these situations, and they don't know exactly how they can get away. So, when you think about your time in that period, like, how did you start to get away from that situation, and how was that process like for you to detach from a toxic situation that you was in?
Well, I have to say it's not easy. It's very difficult because also, and again, I'm talking from my experience, but also from other people's or other women's experiences, is that very often then, the in the toxic relationship is, we have the toxicity, but we also have an incredible love, you know. The love is very strong, and it can't be explained. I always consider myself a strong person who respects, myself, who can, walk out from a tricky relationships. And I have done this very easily with some of the relationships I had in the past. And I was able to say, thank you, but this is not for me. This is not my value. I deserve to be treated very well. But I think there are certain relationships that just, how can I explain it? Is the love is just so strong, It is very, very strong. So, for that love, you choose to tolerate many things that you would have not normally tolerate, or you would have not normally tolerated in the past. So, how to overcome this, how to disattach, like, did you say disattach?
Yeah,
What was
detach,
the word?
detach.
How to detach yourself from that is to, um, I think, bringing the facts about who this person really is, it's very helpful. Um, and another thing is, I guess, just giving some space and time for that love to dissipate. Because it's not, if I would say, I don't love this person anymore, it will be hard. I'm pushing something against me, right? And pushing against yourself is a hard thing to do, and it never works. So I think you have to really accept that, okay, the love is there. And and for me personally, praying has been amazing. Praying to God has been really helpful. I was praying every day, to yeah, to allow this love to dissipate slowly, slowly, slowly. And allow myself to love myself, allow myself to come back to myself. And like I said, it's not an easy process. And I think that everybody has got their own ways of overcoming a challenge like that. Um, but for me, like I said, for me, praying has been really helpful. And just having, I think another thing that has been really helpful is the women's circle, is to be able to surround with other women, to listen to the stories of other people or other women, and and just feeling that actually you're not alone in this, that others also have experienced this too. Um, so yeah, so that these are the two things that has been really helpful for me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, toxicity in relationships is one thing where like somebody is trying to take over the other person and it becomes really toxic. But at the same time, like we mentioned before, masculine and feminine energy is important. It is important for there to be a balance of that in relationships. So when we look at relationship dynamics and gender roles within relationships, how do you feel about someone in a relationship taking the lead and someone choosing to follow, as opposed to two people being independent and just coexisting in a relationship? Or what is your viewpoint on gender roles within relationships?
That's a really good question. So my and again I can use a metaphor of tango. In tango, although the leader generally is leading, a leader is generally is the person who takes charge, right? Takes charge for the dance, takes charge that I will take care of you for this moment. I will take care that we don't bump into other people because we are, navigating the space together. So I have to make sure that you feel safe within the space. And generally, like I will take charge of creating this embrace that feels supportive and comfortable for you, that I will not force you to do anything that you don't want to. So, and again, and and the woman, generally takes a role of I'm I'm here to make the joy, to to create the joy for both of us. She might choose to decorate, she might choose to surprise him in some other ways, she might hold him in a different way. So, I think that all this is beautiful, yet in some, aspects of dancing this dance, the women will take leadership, you know? The woman, even though being a follower, she will say, communicate with her body language and her um, intention that now she wants to speed it up, or now she wants to slow it down. And she will communicate that to the leader, or now she's going to take a space to create a decoration, right? And she will take the lead, you know? She will take the lead in that moment, and this could be joyful. And while she's taking the leader is allowing, the leader is just enjoying her. He's witnessing her beauty, what she's doing, and she's witnessing the moment. So to answer to your question, we need both energies, and each of us have a feminine energy in us and a masculine energy in us. However, and again, talking about my experience, is that um, it is very unhelpful or unhealthy for a woman to sustain masculinity, to sustain this masculine energy, um, doing, um, because it's not natural, it's not natural as a woman who, biologically wired and psychologically wired to be a woman, which means she is there to create, perhaps, women are strong in creating emotional connection. They are carers, but they are also strong at enjoying, and they really strong at, yeah, creating the beauty, that's the role of the woman. Whereas the man, again, if we look at the history, if we look at old films, for example, if you see, who's the hero? The hero is always, if it's a man, they are always somebody who will protect, who will safeguard, who will take pride in creating safety, who will support and be there for the woman, right? And men generally, genetically and psychologically, they would be good at that, right? But I think in this in this society that we're living, we're losing all this capacity to be um, to lean towards the tendency that is natural for us. So I often see that, like women are becoming more masculine, and they tend to take care of things, and They they look after their families. They look after the finances of the family. They look after, they also work on themselves to be better people, and men, sadly, but it's true, and I'm not saying all men, but men tend to, I guess, take comfort in that, because they don't need to do that. Men forget how to be chivalrous, how to be protective, how to create safety. I mean, how to take care of her, how to be this protector and savior, and step in and show up in her life, really. How many times, how many times, a partner is asking their wife, let's say, honey, do I need, can I help you with something? Let me do this. Go and do this now. Go and enjoy, and let me take care of this. How many times this happens? Not very often, right? I mean, really, like, I don't hear many stories of that, and if that happens, that's wonderful. That's already like wonderful relationship. But unfortunately, it doesn't really happen very often. So I think we need to come back to that idea of, um, bringing that natural energy of, who we used to be, who we used to be, how we used to be, how we are psychologically and physically wired, to bring it closer to home, to bring more into our day-to-day lives, so that we can show up for our partners, and that we can enjoy lives as well, because what happens if the man takes charge? He makes the woman happy. So it's a win-win situation, right? It's just as simple as that, He makes the woman happy. And what makes a man happy? To see the woman happy, right? So it's just, yeah, I think it's just that. So yeah, I think the answer to your question is we need both energies, but we also need to bring the natural energy of,
Yeah.
who we are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a very beautiful breakdown of like the masculine and feminine energies and roles within a relationship. And when you talk about the man being in his masculinity and allowing the woman to be in her femininity, it's a complement to each other, and that's how the joy
truly.
can come through them complementing each other in that way. And at the same time, like you mentioned, there are moments where the woman does take some type of a leadership within a certain situation, but she understands that like the encompassing that is the man, like, and then she is always in her femininity most of the time, and there are times where she can also be there for her man as well. Like, so it's a
Absolutely.
beautiful compliment when we look at the natural order, just like you explained there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's very excellent. So, Eva, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everything that you've shared. Where could people find you, find out more about you, and find out more about what you do?
Yeah, so I have a website which consists of my first name and my surname, which is Ieva Kelpsaite. It's a very long. Maybe you can share it somewhere in the link so that people um can find me, and then they can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Possibly Facebook is better.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. Yeah, so and for the viewers, all of that information will be in the description, so you can contact Eva and find out more about what she does. Once again, Eva, thank you so much for coming on. Any final words before we wrap up?
I just want to thank you, for holding the space, because you're doing a great um job. You're living also a beautiful purpose of educating people about relationships. And I actually think that the most important thing in life is your relationships. That's what makes us happy. And so thank you so much for creating the space for people to learn and for people to like for me it's wonderful to share my knowledge with others and my experience with others. And yeah, so I appreciate very much what you're
Thank you,
doing.
Eva. I appreciate that very much, and you're very welcome as well. So yeah,
Thank
once again, thank you for coming on the show, and you have a lovely day now.
you too. Thank you.